Hello everybody and welcome back to another Pokemon News Weekly. I'm Rob. I'm going to be taking you through all the different Pokemon news, leaks, rumors, all that jazz of the week. Remember, this is presented by the Game House. Can't remember if I said that. Might have. Don't know. But make sure as well to leave a like if you end up enjoying this video. If you end up finding it to be useful, as well as it comes out every single Thursday over on the Game House channel. And also make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any Pokemon videos that we have coming out. We've got tier lists, let's plays, these, and we're even answering questions on Tuesday for things, our top 5 lists, top 10 lists, all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you don't miss out on any of that. Also, let me know in the comment section below what of these things you are most excited for in terms of the news, potential leaks, all that kind of stuff. And always feel free to let me know what you think of the leaks, because they're going to be interesting. But we're going to start with news. As always, we'll make our way into the leaks. There are some interesting Pokemon Legends Z-A leaks that I think we're getting closer and closer to Pokemon Day. Guys, we are almost exactly 1 month away from Pokemon Day. So a lot can happen here over the next 4 weeks. So I expect that these news cycles will be pretty, I would say, substantial, to be honest with you. But we're going to start with Pokemon Unite. Big thing is that Galarian Rapidash is here today as of recording this. They also have a battle pass that came out with this as well that has, let me pull this up real quick, Neo Street style Blaziken and Cerulege. So some pretty cool Pokemon, some pretty cool, I guess skins, if you want to call them that, along with the Galarian Rapidash coming out. Then on Pokemon Go, Pokemon Go Tour Unova starts tomorrow, February 24th, and it's going to run until March 1st. So, the Road to Unova event is here. It's going to be here basically by the time you guys are watching this. So, unless you watch on the 23rd, which thanks if you do. But, make sure that you go and get ready for this if you're a big Pokemon Go fan. I used to be having that time to play it really, and sadly where I live, there's just not many Pokestops. Oh well, moving on. We talked about the McDonald's thing, the leak that came out about it. It is here officially. Let me show you guys a little bit more here as well. You can see some of the different cards that we can get. That Charizard card that we've seen a lot of. Some Rayquaza, Roaring Moon, even the Dragonite card. There's a lot more as well. But basically, you can go to a McDonald's and get, a Happy Meal, and you will get cards with it. Along with this as well, when you order on the McDonald's app, you earn 24 packs or 24 pack hourglasses and 12 Wonder hourglasses. So if you're Wonder picking, or if you're looking to get some more packs, because we're going to be going over some Pokemon TCG news, because we had some really exciting stuff in that regard, then do it. I don't know how many times this works. I don't know if it's only once per account. But, if you want to get at least 2 more packs, essentially, with those 24 hourglasses, then that would be a good idea. You should go do it. And I guess, you're helping McDonald's at that point as well. But that's all right. The next big one, and we're going to watch this, actually. I turned off the sound, though, for you guys. The newest set, the newest expansion, specifically, of Pokemon TCG Pocket is officially here. Space Time Smackdown. We're heading back to Sinnoh, which I'm really excited about. They haven't really released a lot of the cards yet. That will be coming here, at the end of the month. I believe they say January 30th here, but I read online January 29th. So maybe it's just that by January 30th, it'll be everywhere. But, the time zones and everything when they release it, I don't know. It's confusing. So sometime between January 29th and 30th, that's when you will be able to do it. See, like you even said the 29th in the little thing here, right? Wednesday, January 29th. Making its way to your phones everywhere on January 30th. So I guess, for some people, it'll probably be that Thursday. The other big news is that we are officially getting trading on the 28th. Now, they came out with a big spiel about trading, and a lot of people did not react very well, and they pretty much came out with it hours after I made last week's video. And yeah, guys, I mean, look, you're not going to be able to trade like some of the rarest cards. I don't understand why they're putting that limit on it. I guess that they still want people to probably chase after those cards and keep buying the packs instead of just trading for all of them from somebody else who's gotten maybe a little bit luckier. That would be my guess. I think a little bit of greed is in there for sure. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of other reasons maybe for it, but that's the big one that I see. But you will be able to start trading on Tuesday, January 28th. Very excited for that as well. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun. I think there are going to be a lot of people trading. I think, it's just that it's like maybe it's more accessible than ever before with Pokemon cards. But I know that it's been driving things crazy. Like, the new Pokemon Prismatic Evolution stuff has been going nuts. People are selling ETBs at $150 a piece already, plus, even more than that. And a lot of this has to do with this. I've been hearing from people who I'm haven't talked to in years, and I'll randomly, reach out to them, or they'll reach out to me and they'll be telling me about how they've been playing Pokemon TCG Pocket as well. This game's reminding me a lot of Pokemon Go, and I just think that, the Pokemon Company has two cash cows between just those two alone. Not even to say all the different cards and everything else. So, Pokemon is in a pretty good spot in that regard. And I think adding trading is going to help. And the new expansions, which are going to be, showing off here. They've got, Palkia and Dialga. So those are going to be the two, kind of like how we had Mewtwo. It sounds like they're going to use legendary Pokemon maybe as like the mascots for these packs or whatever, right? They also showed off, I believe it's in here. Where is it? Somewhere around here. You can get Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup. There's a lot of Pokemon that haven't been revealed yet, but I know that Lucario is in it as well. You've obviously got all of their evolutions: Pachirisu, Eevee, Leafeon, Murkrow, Honchkrow. So, you've got, then you got Cynthia here, which I know everybody's going to be going for the Cynthia card, no doubt about it. Cresselia, you got the Gibble, Gabite, Garchomp, right, in terms of the different Pokemon that they've shown so far. So I'm going to be interested to see if there are going to be any more new additions to, not that there aren't going to be any more. I'm stupid. Lost my train of thought for a second there, but there are going to obviously be new additions to these cards. I'm wondering what they're going to be. I'm surprised they haven't released more of them, but I think they want to at least keep a couple of them secret for us. I wonder what the EX cards are going to be. I'm sure they will leak at some point. But by the time that we're, talking about this next week, we'll have the full card list. We'll have packs out there already. So that'll be interesting to watch. But now we've got to head into the leaks, guys. And this is where I think things get really interesting. So the Hidden Power podcast. Now this has people like Soul Silver Art, who is a big leaker, as far as I know. That's the only name that I know from these three, but I guess it's a podcast where these guys talk about leaks and different Pokemon stuff. They put out here that there's a new rumor that suggests that we might be getting a black and white remake. Known leaker Pyoro, I don't know, Pyoro, whatever, has said that he heard rumblings of a Gen 5 remake last year, which we have all heard, we have talked about, I've written about multiple times. Which he thought would be announced last year. If this remake still exists, we could be seeing it this year. It does exist. They are going to do a remake of every single generation over a set amount of time. How often they're going to do it, we still don't really know. It's been a little inconsistent, I would say. I think that there is a very, very high chance that we are going to get these remakes. I also think, and people are going to hate me for this, I think that there's a chance they move Pokemon Legends Z-A back just because they're going to do these black and white remakes first, and they'll release those sometime in maybe even March, April, June, sometime around then. And then we'll get Z-A later in the fall, early holiday season in November maybe. So I would love for Z-A to come out first, if I'm being honest with you. I really would. And then they do black and white remakes, and that gives us time leading up to Pokemon Gen 10, which I believe will be coming out next year. I'm almost certain that these are going to happen at this point. There are new rumors suggesting that it will. I can't imagine why they'd wait any longer to do them. We got Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl a few years ago, along with Legends Arceus, so I'd have to think that these are happening. Pokemon Works and the Illica company, the ones that helped make BDSP, are also apparently making a new game for Pokemon. Would not surprise me if this is it. You know, they're just passing that stuff on and letting them all do it. So we'll have to see. I hope so. I think getting a black and white remake would do a lot, because I think that generation specifically is too often forgotten about. I think it's a very solid generation. I think Black and White and Black and White 2 are very solid games. I really like the story progression in them. I think that Black and White 2 have some of the best early game choices in terms of Pokemon, which I think is very important personally as you're playing through the game. So yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see this happening. The next big one is that there are new ZA rumors with gameplay, other stuff, but apparently, like, you can see Tepig here battling on what looks like a street of Lumiose. I would not be surprised to see Tepig get into this game. I would be remiss if I said that it would be... I don't know. The Emboar and Tepig, all of them, like, they need help. They are some of the most often forgotten about Pokemon. I know a lot of people have said when I did my Pokemon tier list for the starters that I was wrong on this, that I was, I don't know, just like completely off base, but I know that Tepig is one of the least liked starters, or one of the least known ones, and I think it would get a nice little revival here to get a mega form, to get even a new evolution, similar to how the Hisuian starters ended up. And we've got this big thing here, and I'm going to read it to you guys about everything that's going on with Pokemon Legends Z-A. Now, take this with a grain of salt, as always, okay? This is not a for sure leak. I would call this one a rumor. If it ends up being that the game is like this, then yeah, it is a leak. But I think for now, we're just going to call this a straight up rumor, and I have a few reasons why I'm not sure that this is true. First off is you have two new rivals in the game. One is the opposite gender player. The other comes from Paldea. So, one from the region, one from Paldea. Interesting that they are already going to be connecting Paldea, the most recent game, right? The most recent region, with this new game. Interesting, because they did not do that, obviously, with Legends Arceus. All three of you work for the redevelopment team and focus on different aspects of Lumiose, catching Pokemon, battling Pokemon, and evolving Pokemon. So, yeah, what that has to do with the redevelopment team, I don't know, but you're doing the basics here. Everybody knows this, no surprise. Roughly double the amount of optional quests from Pokemon Legends Z-A. They're already a lot. I think there was like 100 plus. So 200 plus is a lot. That is a lot. They increase your trainer rank and you unlock more areas. So this time, instead of completing the Pokedex, you're having to do these quests to increase your trainer rank and unlock more areas. That I like. I think that's a good idea. I think the quests needed to be a little bit more than just optional to complete the Pokedex. I think that this is a really good idea, to say the least. I did love, that Pokemon Legends Arceus, it was all focused on like creating this new Pokedex, getting to know Pokemon, all that kind of stuff. I will say too, by the way, that this leak rumor, sorry, I'll start using the right words, rumor, pretty much signifies to me that they are like, this is the future, most likely. I would just have to think that they are going to be doing this for the future, because it's redevelopment. So that word has been what I think a lot of people, myself included, have been focused on. I don't really know. I mean, you could redevelop it and then turn it into Lumiose. I don't know. It's going back and forth. They really left this word up to full-on interpretation right now until we get to hear more. But now, then, this is why I think it's future. The ultimate weapon that Lysander fired spread energy throughout Kalos, which allowed Pokemon to adapt differently over the past decade. So 1 decade on is what they are claiming in this, which would make sense to me, to be honest with you. I wouldn't be totally surprised by that. Infinity energy is a key component of how Lumiose is powered. So what that means, I don't know, but obviously a big deal. You must find an alternative energy source by the end of the game. If it's infinite energy, then why do we need a new one? The disbalance of infinity energy, here you go, is what causes Zygarde to Mega Evolve. It looks like it's the form of the letter A, so, okay, interesting. Xerneas and Yveltal go haywire from the infinity energy, and you might fight them, and you must fight them in their cocoon or tree forms as boss battles. So interesting that they're in these cocoon and tree forms. I don't know if there's some lore behind that I don't know personally about, but interesting that Zygarde is going to Mega Evolve into the A, so it's literally Z and A, both of them. I would really like to kind of study why that would be. This A, a lot of people are focusing on the fact that A is going to be a Pokemon for sure. I'm just not. I'm more thinking that it's going to be something to do with AZ, the character, that we met. I just don't think that that's an accident. I really, really don't. I think like he's the beginning and then the ZA is the end kind of a thing. So I don't know. I'm confused, to be honest with you at this point, but this is where I'm starting to lose it a little bit. Battle cafes replace gyms. Interesting, very interesting. And some gym leaders return as a side job to battle up incoming trainers. Like, the battle cafes thing makes sense to me, but they're basically putting in gyms, which means that Legends ZA really would just be Pokemon Z, but later. Right, so like it's not even a Legends game necessarily, and like what's gonna define a Legends game? In the last one we had to battle these like Supreme Alpha Pokemon and like their Guardians, right? Which kind of were gym battles, but not really. They all only had one Pokemon if I remember correctly, and then you had to go and battle the big Alphas, right? I'm just not convinced that gyms are supposed to be a part of Legends games. I think that if they were, then they'd be too similar to the mainline games, which these are trying to, I think, separate themselves, right? Legends Arceus was a very different game. Yes, you went out and caught Pokemon. Yes, it was one where we had, a truly open world, and I feel like that was really important part to it. But what is Legends ZA going to do if it just has gyms? At that point, shouldn't it just be Pokemon Z? I don't know. This makes me question it. These are a couple of things that make me question it. Then you have a handful of new regional forms and Mega Evolutions, roughly about 18 new Mega Evolutions. So, like, if it's roughly, why wouldn't it just be, like, a for sure number? There's 18. If you know all this other information, you would know exactly how many Mega Evolutions there probably are. Some Mega Evolutions are choice-dependent during the main story, such as Mega Zangoose or Seviper. Now, that is interesting, because you're going to have to trade with people then, because if they are choice dependent, then you're not getting both. So very interested to see how that's going to work if that was a part of the game. Another one that's a problem for me here is your starters are Turtwig, Tepig, and Sobble. Grass and Steel, Fire and Ground, Water and Psychic. I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's just no way. There's no way that those are the three starters. I just can't believe that. Those are some of the least inspiring, good, interesting starters that they have out there. And maybe that's the whole point, right? With Gen 8, I think a lot of people go with Scorbunny and Grookey, right? I don't even know. With Gen 5, most people don't really like them all that much, but Snivy, I know, and Oshawott are probably a lot more popular. And then, obviously with Turtwig, that one doesn't even really need to be explained. The other two options are just infinitely better. I just can't see them choosing these three. I really can't. I just don't think that they are popular enough. They gotta at least throw one really popular Pokemon in there. I know that a lot of people said that Cyndaquil wasn't as popular, but Typhlosion's super popular, so no surprise that they put that one in Legends Arceus, right? Rowlet, a super popular Pokemon from Sun and Moon, made it in. No surprise there. And then Oshawott as well, getting in. Cute, really popular. Like, these are... I know they're eventually going to have to change the starters and everything. And maybe they'll have to repeat some at different points. I don't know for Legends games, but I just can't imagine Turtwig, Tepig, and Sobble being the ones that they're going to be like, hey, these are the three starters that you should get really excited about. Because I just don't think people are going to be very happy with these ones. And I don't know why they would pick those ones. I could see them picking one of these three. For sure. One of these three, because again, they're not as popular. And then you put two more popular ones in there, and you put the new Mega forms, all that kind of stuff. But can you imagine if we're getting, a Mega Emboar, Mega Torterra, and a Mega Inteleon. Like, and those are the new Mega forms. I don't know. Personally, I don't see it. I don't think that those would be as popular personally. And that was one of the big reasons why I just don't believe this rumor. The Kalos starters can Mega Evolve. That's great news. We all expected that was going to happen, so good job there. And then this is one that's really interesting, this line here. First trailer is on Pokemon Day. I don't know why people are talking about news in January, calling some leakers out, Riddler Q specifically. Legends Z-A will release on the Switch. There will not be a version for the Switch 2, and that right there, my friends, this is where I'm almost certain that this person is wrong. I believe that there were rumors before where there were going to be, two versions of the game, right? One that was available on both. Look, the games we know for a fact on Switch 2 are backwards compatible for Legends Z-A. So, like, I don't know if they're just trying to be cheeky where it's like, yeah, it's going to work on Switch 2, but they didn't make a better graphical version of it. I just can't believe that Pokemon would wait all this time, make this game, know that it's coming out the same year as Switch 2, because if there's a company that's going to know what Nintendo is doing, it's going to be the Pokemon company. Am I wrong? Like they're one of the only direct Nintendo brands that are Nintendo, right? Like Pokemon's not coming out on PlayStations or Xboxes or PCs, right? It only comes out on Nintendo. They would make sure that this game is going to be compatible and graphically better for the Switch 2. I just can't believe that they would only release it on the Switch unless if for some reason, now this is unless, that Legends Z-A is going to come out in the early springtime and the Switch 2 is going to not come out until the holiday season in November. That's the only way, because then we'd have like a 6-month time period where this game is out. And they knew that they'd have to make a Switch 2 version maybe later, but on initial release, it's not going to be there. That makes sense to me as well. I still believe that there's a chance that this is going to be a, Switch 2 release title. I haven't seen any rumors that have substantiated that. That's just my personal belief, or it's going to be coming out soon around that time period, obviously. But I'm just going to be honest. I just don't think that this leak is real. There are just some things that I'm not convinced of. I really don't know. Why wouldn't you know how many mega forms there are if you know all this other stuff? I'm also not convinced about this infinity, energy and cocoon or tree forms as boss battles. I'm not convinced of these starters, and I'm really not convinced of this part down here. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of these leaks in the comments section below, or these rumors, I should say, again, more specifically. I don't believe them, but, again, I could be totally wrong. I don't know. I'm not, working at the Pokemon company. I don't know exactly what's going on there right now. So you guys make sure to let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is going to be it for our news, leaks, and rumors for Pokemon today. Hopefully you guys will come back and check this out next week. There will be a lot more information coming out, like I said, almost weekly at this point. And I'll be making sure to do a big coverage of things before. I'm looking at it now over here. You guys can probably see it. The 27th for Pokemon Day is going to be a Monday. So we've got, or nope, sorry, wrong one. It is going to be a Thursday. So you'll have one of these coming out on Thursday with all the Pokemon Day news. So, yeah, you can look forward to that, and maybe that's worth subscribing for. But that is going to wrap it up for us on this episode of Pokemon News Weekly. So with that, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.